The past 6 months have been really eye opening for me. A lot has changed, a lot has happened in my life, a lot of things that I didn't expect to happen. And I think that's the idea with life, right? I think that's the reoccurring theme that we see throughout the course of our life where we don't expect something just happens sporadically, and we kind of have to work our way through. We figure it out as we go. But to say the least, I've learned a lot these past 6 months, and I really think this is extremely valuable, especially to any young men that watch me. The first thing is, young men, there's gonna be a moment in life where you keep getting pulled back to something. And I don't mean a person, I mean a thing. It's a thing that you're supposed to do, but maybe you stopped doing because you got distracted. Maybe you did it and an opportunity was dazzling and you wanted to jump at this new opportunity and you completely forgot about it just to come right back to it. Now, I say this because a couple months ago kind of I was kind of doing like a sweat equity deal with somebody that I knew. He was actually my barber. He was opening up a barber shop. And the more I learned about the business model, the more intrigued I got. I said, that sounds great. I said, that sounds fantastic. I said, I want in. I was like, how about I help you scale it, help you build it? How about I get this barber shop, this location popular, popping? Let's see if we can fill it up. And from there, if I do what I say, why don't you give me partial equity? We'll talk about numbers. And then why don't we JV on the next location? Now, prior to that, you guys know I was trading, right? I day trade for a living. And I jumped immediately at that opportunity because it was dazzling to my eyes, only to realize that it wasn't something I should have jumped at. I shouldn't have. I should have just stuck to my lane. I should have stayed doing what I was doing, which was trading, dedicating all my days learning about the market, in and out, scanning the market, reading the news, back testing, all of that. In life, you're gonna have moments where you get pulled away from something. You have to have some level of discernment because you need to identify, is this thing that's pulling me away a redirection, meaning I am leveling up and I'm entering a new stage, a new chapter, a new page in this story called my life? Or is it a distraction? Redirection or distraction? Two completely separate things. Here's how you can tell. Redirection is you'll get this feeling that something great is going to come from this. It's a gut feeling. It's not an idea. It's not hope. It's not wishful thinking. You will actually feel like something great is going to occur because of this redirection. And so you look at the redirection and you say, well, this is magnificent. Okay, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm all in. Distraction is when you doubt, when you're like, I feel like I should be focusing on something else. I feel like this is just going to drain my energy. I feel like this might be a mistake. That's how you can tell. A redirection doesn't really come with doubt. It comes with a little bit of clarity. You're like, this kind of makes sense. If anything, I've been waiting for this. And that's how you can tell. So that's the first thing I learned, which is I couldn't tell the difference between redirection and a distraction. I mean, when you're trying to make it, every opportunity sounds great, right? You want to get into this, you want to get into this, you want this side hustle and this side hustle. And throughout the course of my life, I've learned that you do not need to pick up 500 side hustles. You need to focus on one thing, your thing, one channel, and go all in. Don't divert, don't change, and do it long enough for you to see results. That's the key. Whatever you decide to do, you have to do it long enough that you see results. If you want to go all in and become a fitness trainer, a personal trainer, you want to become some type of coach, do it and do not turn your eye from it until you've done so much work that it is unreasonable for you to not see results. I think that's the key formula. The question isn't, what do I have to do to succeed? What do I have to do to win? It's really, how much work and what type of work do I have to do to make it completely unreasonable that results will not occur as a byproduct of the amount of effort that I'm putting in? Let's say you have a business and you spend hundreds and thousands of hours marketing. Every single day, you market. You keep marketing. You keep going. If you spend thousands of hours marketing and you don't see results, either one, you're not marketing good enough, or two, maybe you're not cut out for this, which I really hate the idea of you're not cut out for this because you don't have to be cut out for anything. You guys know I was in sales, and a lot of people think you have to be a natural born salesperson. Like you have to naturally have a knack for sales. Everything can be taught, everything can be learned. There is nothing that you're just born with. You just haven't done it long enough. So the question you need to ask yourself is how much work do I have to do to make it completely unreasonable that I won't see results? And again, focus on one thing. That was a big takeaway the past 6 months. Now there's more. After that, something I learned is my entire life I was extremely afraid to love, fall in love, uh, because I came to the conclusion that love equals pain. To love is insane because if you're gonna love, you are literally choosing to love, knowing with certainty that one day this thing, this person that you love, will be stripped from you. And you are willing to take that for a temporary or extended period of happiness. It's almost like a drug addict that knows this drug will destroy them, but they are okay with this drug destroying them for that for that hit, for that feeling, that euphoria, that whatever it is. I turned away from love for 24 years, man. I was extremely afraid. I couldn't do it. I could not fathom loving. I could not imagine falling in love. I knew who I would be when I fell in love. I I don't think I know myself all the way. I think I'm still growing. I think I'm still evolving. I think I'm still transforming. But I had a good idea of how I would behave when I was in love. Oh my gosh. I knew that I would freaking obsess. Like all I would be able to do is think about this thing or this person. I would give my heart for this person. And we all have trauma. We all have things in our past that happened to us. And part of, I guess, my trauma is I was so afraid that if I were to give all of this, one, it wouldn't be received, it wouldn't be welcomed, and it wouldn't be returned. And if it wasn't returned, then I would feel like I'm fighting for nothing, which is a big lesson. I've learned to give love and not expect it in return. Some people may say, well, Thompson, have some standards for yourself. Are you kidding me? Why why would you why would you do that to yourself? Have some standards. If you're gonna give something, expect it back. And yeah, I guess to a degree it's true because if moments where I was giving love and I don't necessarily think I was receiving the same in return, my pride and my dignity took a hit. It took a blow. It was hard, man. But I realized that if you can view yourself as the source of love, if you can view yourself as this endless supply of love, of energy that can just keep on giving, you can never run dry. You can never be depleted, nor do you ever need it in return because you are it. I would encourage any young men that watch me, if you are cold and numb and you are afraid of love, I would encourage you to not be so afraid. be selective. If you are selective and you select wisely and you choose wisely, a lot of the fears, doubts, and worries you'll have in regards to love will wash away. The only fear that's left is one day this person will die. And if they die before you, you will have to somehow live without them, even though you are madly in love and you love this person. That'll probably be the only fear that's left. The fear of abandonment, the fear of betrayal, the fear of getting hurt. If you select wisely, you won't have to worry about that because I do believe that if you select wisely, there will be a partner that would never dare do that to you. There will be a partner that loves you forever and would never hurt you. So, key takeaway, view yourself as a source, a supply of love that just keeps giving and giving and giving. If you can view yourself like that, you'll always have more to give. Always. There will always be more to give. And you don't need it in return, even though sometimes it's painful. And I get it, right? It's like when you it's like it's like saying I love you to somebody and they don't say it back. I've also learned to not take things personally. If that's ever happened to you, let's say you say, "Hey, I love you." And let's say you mean it. Like your heart is out. It's completely fine. The reason you're affected if they don't return the love is because you are afraid that you'll be all alone, that you are giving so much and it's not being received and you're not getting it back and you'll never be loved and then you'll die. Don't take things personally. Most of the times it's not a you problem, it's a them problem. Like they're probably still trying to digest some things and navigate their own emotions because just like you, how you're emotional, I promise you, if you're in a relationship with someone, they are just as emotional like you. If you care about them and you chose the right person, I promise they care about you just as much. And like you're trying to navigate your emotions and figure it out, they are trying to navigate theirs and figure it out. So it's not really something we should take personally. Again, we're here to love. Who the heck? Why would you give love and expect it and want it back? You have a lot of love to give. Give it. I think that's how the world can actually change. If you just give love and not expect it back, just give. Whether they want to receive it or not, that's on them. Whether they want to return it or not, that's on them. But give because you are a source of love. You are the supply of love. Throughout the past 6 months, I've also realized that, first of all, growing up, I know I told you guys this story. My parents divorced when I was very young, and it was pretty much kind of hectic. And I was raised by a single mother. So I never had a masculine role model in my life to show me the ropes and show me how to be a man. And I don't know how much heavier those words can get. When a young boy does not have guidance and is not shown how to be a man, every day he lives, he's trying to figure it out. Without a role model, without guidance, is hard because you feel alone. You are trying to find your place in this world as a man, and you just don't know what to do. There were times where I was fed into the notion that, oh, you're a man, don't cry. Oh, you're a man, be cold. You don't gotta be emotional. Why are you emotional? There was a time where I was fed into this space of, oh, you're a man. You're stone cold. Be tough. Brute strength. That's it. No weakness. I would like to say that emotionally, it has not been difficult for me to express myself. I can cry. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've cried. Within the past 6 months, I've finally been able to cry. But I could cry. I could feel. I'm a human. And I used to think all this emotion running through me was weakness. I would say, I am just weak. What is this? Why are tears falling down my face? Why is my heart beating so fast? Why is it hard to breathe? Why is my breath shallow? What's happening to me? I would think that was weakness. Looking back now, I realized that all along I was just scared. I was a little scaredy cat, afraid of getting hurt. And now that I'm in a position to where have faced that, I realize that it's pretty bad. I'll tell you that much. Like, the pain that comes with love is unbearable. I will tell you that much. I think that when you are in love, it's quite literally like a drug. You obsess over this person. You can't stop thinking about this person. Uh, you wake up and you think about them. You go to sleep and you see them. You try to work and they're in your head. Even now, you do things and they're here. You think about them. You think about everything about them, like everything. And I would say that it to a degree it's insanity. To a degree, it's like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? Like, you don't want it. You don't want them to get out of your head because you love them, but it's almost like this is overwhelming, and it's so overwhelming to the point where you just crack. I've cracked the past 6 months. I've screamed at the top of my lungs inside my room when no one was around. I fell on my knees and I started bawling, ugly tears falling down my face. I've reacted emotionally. You guys know how I tell you guys all the time that we have two brains. We have a logical brain and an emotional brain. But it's very hard for us to feel and think at the same time. If we are thinking, it is purely logical. If we are feeling, it's purely emotional. The emotional brain is very chaotic. It's spontaneous. It's impulsive. It doesn't think. It's not logical. The logical brain is structured. It can kind of control these emotions. And to a degree, I would say that in regards to controlling my emotions, I can regulate a lot of them. I can digest a lot of emotions, regulate them, break them down, and kind of discard the things I don't need, and then move forward logically. But ever since I've tasted what love is, it's like my first rodeo. It's like my first time riding a horse. It's very difficult. Just navigating the process is extremely difficult because I am so emotional all the time, and it's so annoying. Oh my gosh, it's annoying to me. It bothers me, and I don't even know if it gets easier. If anything, I think it gets worse. Like, I don't think as time goes on you love the person less. I think if you really love them, as time goes on you love them more. Like, it expands. And so it's like every day it just gets worse and worse. It's it doesn't sound too good. So, young men, I know I'm encouraging you to love, and it doesn't sound too good. Like, I'm not the best salesperson right now, but it is the truth for me at least. I've realized that I've almost lost a sense of being logical. If I want to be logical, I really have to take a breather, and I really have to like step away and say, give me a second. And I have to break it down and I have to return like, okay, I am now logical. Emotions are handled. I'm purely logical now. And it's because in moments of high emotions and an influx of emotion, I reacted impulsively. I was spontaneous. I was just reactive. It was awful. But key takeaway, honestly, when you fall in love, it will disturb your masculinity. And when I say masculinity, I mean the masculine frame. You guys understand? I explain the masculine frame as structured, ordered. Consider us a container for the feminine. The feminine is a little bit too vast for us. That's why we're men. That's why women can handle so much more than us. I don't think a man is stronger than a woman by any means. And I mean that. I think a woman is by far stronger than a man. I think that a man may be more physically capable of doing things, but to withstand some of the things that women can withstand, we as men, I doubt. There's no way. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. The feminine is vast. I define it as chaotic, which always gets some type of negative annotation or connotation. It's not negative per se, it's just so vast. It's so great. The feminine energy is just so vast and so great that as men, our job is to contain it and be strong enough to contain it. When when we fall in love, I would say we merge with this feminine, and if we are not strong enough to contain it, it will take over us. So it instead of us being the container, it shatters the glass, it shatters the container, and we have to fight with all the will to piece together the container because if we crack, it's over. There's nothing worse than two feminine energies kind of intertwining, right? I mean, that's the beauty of the duality between masculine and feminine. If you are going to fall in love, gentlemen, I encourage you to have a solid foundation. I don't mean just financially. That's a really important one too. But I mean you need to align yourself like all the way and be so certain and be so confident, so strong and so aware of your strength that you possess that when you interact and when you cross paths with a woman that you fall in love with, the merging of that energy, the adaptation of love, the welcoming of love, the giving of love, it doesn't create this thing inside of you that just explodes. If anything, you welcome it and you say, "This is fine. I like it." You you see it, it comes, you digest it, it becomes you. It doesn't overtake you, but you intertwine with it and you move forward. To love, I think, is a great thing. But I wanted to make this video because within the past 6 months, I've learned that those were the key themes of the past 6 months that are really, really important, which is one, don't get distracted, stay on your path. Understand the difference between direct redirection and distraction. And two, don't be afraid of love, and you have to understand what it is. I don't necessarily think love is just a feeling. I think love is everything that you do despite how you feel. I think love is a we can consider it an emotion, but that emotion alone means nothing. Underneath the emotion are thousands of mini subcategories of actions. When you love someone, you'll take care of them. You'll think about them. When you love someone, you'll always think about them. When you love someone, you'll always worry about them. When you love someone, you'll do everything to protect them. When you love someone, you will make sure they're safe. When you love someone, you'll try to make their life a little bit easier. Or, you know, when you love someone, you'll do anything for them. And it goes on and on. When you love someone, you'll freaking go out of your way to do little things for them. Like, it goes on and on. The list is, it goes on and on and on. Identify what love is. Be a container, young men, for that love. Digest it, welcome it. And something I've had to do is start over, right? I've been applying to jobs. I've had to start over from scratch again. And I've done this before. I've had to start over. Picking up a full time job. I'm going to try to pick up a full time graveyard shift. See if I can do something on the weekend. So, trying to pick up 2 to 3 jobs. And it's part of my starting over process. And I will say this, gentlemen, if you meet a woman who will stand by you, even though you're going through the building phase, and being with a man in his building phase is not easy. I mean, if he doesn't give you all his attention, then he's not a good foundation. Either one, he's not giving you his attention because he's way too busy, or two, he is building. And so as a woman, it's like, what the heck? It doesn't give you any sense of security. It doesn't make you feel safe. If anything, it makes you worry more. If you are with a woman and you're in your building phase and she refuses to leave and she stands strong, oh my gosh, just marry her already. Like, just marry her. Because she'll stay there the rest of your life. Being with a man in his building phase is probably one of the hardest things to do as a woman. I'm just assuming. It's very hard. Ladies, I know you like a sense of safety, comfort, security, and when you don't get that, I understand. It's tough. Are you kidding me? I get it. So, young men, if you are in a relationship, or if you, or just heed this, if you plan on getting into one, that if she sticks with you through the storm, through whatever weather, through the emotional ups and downs, and she just refuses to run away. She refuses to turn away, and she stands by you. just just ask her what her ring size is. Make a mental note and get ready to figure out what ring you want to buy her, and just marry her. Get ready to marry her one day. You might as well. The last thing I learned is that in regards to partnership, no one should be stronger than the other. A complete partnership are two extremely strong, competent individuals on their own and together, a force to be reckoned with. And the reason for that is when one partner falls, the other partner grabs, extends their hand, pulls them up, says, "Let's go. You got this." Vice versa. If two individuals are strong on their own, when they come together, they will unite and be even stronger together. They will make magical things happen together. But it requires a lot of patience. It requires really caring. Caring to the point where you don't even care about yourself, you care about them. And if both parties are strong, that's what happens. It's an exchange of selflessness. So you don't care about yourself and you care about your partner. Your partner doesn't care about their self and they care about you. And so you guys give the best parts to each other. In this, what may occur is that in this exchange of so much giving, there might be a sense of emptiness. Like you might lose yourself. And I ran across this post and I like it. It says, "I don't feel like myself. I must be growing." And when I read that, I said, huh, well, that's fantastic. Because moments where I didn't feel like myself, I'm like, dude, something's wrong with me. But I realize now that looking back, any moment where I didn't feel like myself, a moment of growth happened soon after. If not after, a little bit after, or a little bit longer after, right? So now I've adopted that. Anytime I don't feel like myself, I'm like, oh, I must be growing. I may not see it now, but I must be growing. Something great's gonna happen. I'm changing in some ways, and it's gonna benefit me on a long enough time horizon. And despite how it feels right now in this current moment, it may not feel good, but I know for a fact I am growing. So those are just, I guess that's just a quick update of the past 6 months. I know I didn't go into details, but those were some things I learned. Don't be afraid of love. Distraction versus redirection. Identify it. Remember, stick to one channel and go all the way in. If you're gonna love, be ready to give yourself up. Like you gotta know yourself. You gotta be strong, competent, and you gotta be ready to know what you want and what you're ready to receive, what you're ready to give. And if you're not gonna give 100%, don't expect 100%. And as a matter of fact, if you want to save yourself the headache, don't expect at all. Just give. Like you're an endless well of giving. The ocean doesn't need water from anything else. The ocean is the ocean. Be the ocean. Be this constant thing that just pours and gives. Be source. You don't need to charge anything. Consider yourself a battery. Give energy. Give. And let's say you are a self-sufficient battery that charges itself by giving. View yourself as that, and you'll freaking win. Whatever you're going through, whatever you have going on in life, just know that whatever it is that you're struggling with now, in just a few months you won't. And I bet you you'll live to see those next few months. So don't worry about it too much right now. If anything, just pay attention to these emotions, feel these emotions. Really appreciate these emotions because they're going to fly away and they'll be replaced with something else in the next 3 months. Take a second and really digest every emotion you feel in every single moment. Appreciate that and understand that nothing is forever, including the emotions and the moments where you feel like garbage. Nothing's forever. That's a promise, that's a guarantee. Take it easy on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, but be competent. And more than anything, believe in yourself. That's all I got, man.